Soweto is one of the most famous townships in the world. This area used to be racially segregated in Johannesburg, but it's also the home of South Africa's greatest leaders and the movement that led to the fall of the apartheid regime.
The government was saying black people are not going to go anywhere to Europe. Black people are not going to hold any skills job in this country. Black people need to be prepared as cheap laborers.
This horrific regime fell thanks in part to the Black consciousness movement, which originated in Soweto. Despite its historical significance, some people fear this neighborhood. But is it really that dangerous? Locals have something to say.
Anything can happen actually. In every country.
You can't judge a place if you've never been there.
If I wanted to learn something about South Africa's history and South Africa today, there was no better place to experience it than Soweto. Instead of taking the typical tour, I joined the biking group of Soweto backpackers.
Soweto today is regarded as the biggest township in the whole African continent, and the population here is 4.5 to 6 million people.
As we pass by, friendly locals wave their hands, smile, and greet us. While biking around, I learned that under the apartheid, blacks were not allowed to drink or buy alcohol.
If we wanted to go to the bottle store as black men, you had to have a note from your boss saying you're going to buy a beer or a brandy or whiskey, not for yourself, but for your boss.
Locals welcome us with a taste of their traditional beer made from maize and sorghum, and an improvised performance begins. Then we were taken to taste a local delicacy. We immerse ourselves in a more impoverished area of Soweto, and that's where the famous restaurant is. These fresh, bloody cow heads don't seem very appealing for a vegetarian like me. The delicacy consists in small pieces of a cow's head with balls of maize to enhance the flavor. It is time to give a look at the history in the Hector Peterson Memorial and Museum. On June 16, 1976, thousands of Soweto students marched peacefully to protest against the apartheid laws.
And police opened fire on school children and killing the first victim, who was 13 years, by the name Hector Peterson.
This township became a symbol of resistance to overcome repression.
From that day, there was violence in the township. All the government buildings were attacked. Soweto was on fire.
Although there are equal rights by law, racial differences are still being talked about among South Africans.
If I were to stand on top of the hill and raise my voice in praise of the women of my country who have worked out throughout their lives, not for themselves, but for the very life of all Africans.
Viva Mandela, viva! Viva! Viva Mandela, viva! Viva! He said the only thing he was interested to do, it was to unite South Africans, whites and blacks.
During the ride, I experienced the different faces of Soweto. Despite its violent reputation, I saw compassion, cheerfulness, and pride.
And I'm proud to say that I'm South African.
The spirit of freedom took over me, and before leaving Johannesburg, I went to the legendary Orlando Towers for an spectacular view and the ultimate free fall. I don't know if I'm adventurous, suicidal, or just crazy.